Yes, my friends, the Los Angeles Rams are facing some internal challenges that could make all the difference this new season. Some rumors have been circulating behind the scenes, but I'm trying to verify them to find out what's actually true. This time, the topic revolves around a name that many NFL fans would never imagine hearing connected to Los Angeles in this way. There's growing buzz involving former Kansas City Chiefs cornerback L'Jarius Sneed, and what makes this rumor even stronger is the fact that some current Rams players are publicly fueling the conversation. I'm about to tell you all the details about this, and also about some other things I consider important for the Rams. But before we continue, smash that like button hard. But wait, only do that if you truly believe the Rams are going to make the playoffs or even compete in the next Super Bowl. Write down below what you think about it. Man, honestly, I really believe in the Super Bowl. The Rams have what it takes for that. Now let's get straight into this, because there's actually a lot more happening here than people realize. The rumors really started gaining traction after new Rams addition Jaylen Watson appeared to publicly recruit L'Jarius Sneed to Los Angeles. Watson posted a message directed at Sneed with eye emojis, clearly hinting at the possibility of a reunion. And this wasn't just a random interaction between former teammates. Fans immediately noticed the meaning behind it because Watson has already shown interest in bringing back that old Kansas City secondary chemistry. What made this even more interesting is that Watson had also previously posted a photo featuring himself, Trent McDuffie, Sneed, and Josh Williams celebrating after winning the Super Bowl together in Kansas City. Rams fans quickly connected the dots. This wasn't subtle. It looked like genuine recruiting. Then things escalated even more when Sneed actually responded. According to the discussion in the transcript, Sneed replied publicly, essentially signaling that he was open to the idea and referencing Los Angeles directly. That's what really sent fans into debate mode, because now this isn't just Rams fans fantasizing online anymore. There appears to be actual communication happening between players behind the scenes. But here's where the conversation gets complicated. When you talk about L'Jarius Sneed, you can't just focus on the player he used to be in Kansas City. You also have to acknowledge what happened recently during his time with the Tennessee Titans. And honestly, the decline was shocking. The transcript points out that Sneed struggled badly in 2025 when he was on the field for Tennessee. His coverage numbers were rough. Opposing quarterbacks found success against him consistently, and the passer rating allowed against him reportedly reached 137.7. For a player who once looked like one of the better defensive backs in football, that's a major red flag. The injuries are another huge concern. During his Titans run, he missed significant time, and durability became one of the biggest reasons his level of play dropped so dramatically. That's important because the Rams already know how dangerous injuries can be to a secondary. Last season exposed exactly how thin this defense could become whenever key players were unavailable. And Rams fans definitely remember those moments. The discussion in the transcript specifically mentioned how different the defense looked when Quentin Lake wasn't on the field. There were stretches where the defense simply didn't have enough reliable depth, and that's exactly why this potential move is even being discussed in the first place. The Rams may have improved certain areas of the roster, but depth at cornerback still feels like a concern. That's why this debate is fascinating. Because on one hand, there are very legitimate reasons to hesitate. Sneed is no longer the same player who thrived under Steve Spagnuolo in Kansas City alongside elite defensive talent. The recent tape raises questions. The injuries raise questions. And even though the legal issues discussed in the transcript were reportedly resolved with charges being dropped, teams around the league still appear cautious considering he remains unsigned. But on the other hand, the Rams are not necessarily looking for prime all-pro Snead here. That's the key part of this conversation. The idea being discussed is bringing him in on a very low-risk veteran minimum contract. And if you think about it from that perspective, suddenly the possibility starts making more sense. Because if the price is extremely low, then the Rams would essentially be betting on upside. They would be hoping that reuniting Snead with familiar faces and putting him into a better environment could help him recover at least part of the form he once had. And honestly, that's not impossible. We've seen veterans revive careers before, especially players who leave unstable situations and land with strong coaching staffs. Sean McVay's culture matters. The Rams' locker room matters. Defensive chemistry matters. If Snead can stay healthy and regain confidence, even if he never becomes the exact same player he was in Kansas City, he could still provide useful snaps and important depth. That's really the heart of this entire discussion. The Rams do not need him to become an elite shutdown corner overnight. They would simply need him to become reliable enough to help stabilize the secondary when injuries hit. Because over the course of an NFL season, injuries always happen. And teams that survive January are usually the teams with the strongest depth. The transcript also made another important point that a lot of people may overlook. Last season, the Rams had offensive limitations in certain areas, but now the roster appears much stronger offensively. The concern has shifted more toward defensive depth. That changes the equation completely. If the offense takes another step forward, then even average defensive improvements could become extremely valuable. And imagine this scenario for a second. Imagine if the Rams signed Snead for almost nothing financially, and somehow he managed to rediscover even 70% of the player he once was with the Chiefs. That would instantly become one of the smartest low-risk moves of the offseason. The Titans invested heavily in him expecting a star and got a disaster instead. But sometimes situations matter more than people realize in the NFL. Now, obviously, nobody should expect miracles here. The transcript itself made it very clear that expecting him to magically become the old Kansas City version again is unrealistic. But that doesn't mean he has zero value left. There's a middle ground between elite star and washed player. And that middle ground is exactly where the Rams could potentially benefit. What makes this even more intriguing is the fact that current Rams players clearly seem interested in the reunion. That matters more than fans sometimes realize. Locker room chemistry is real. Familiarity matters. Communication in the secondary matters. If Watson genuinely believes Snead can still contribute, that's at least worth paying attention to. And right now, with the free agent market looking thin at cornerback, the Rams may eventually decide that taking a cheap gamble is better than doing nothing at all. So now the big question goes directly to Rams fans. If the Rams can sign L'Jarius Snead on a veteran minimum deal with almost no financial risk involved, would you take that chance and see if Sean McVay's culture can help revive his career? Or do you think the Rams should completely avoid the risk and move in another direction?